Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Merry Christmas, Ian Flynn.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Krause.
Merry Christmas. That's the day it is that we're releasing this episode. Not the day it is we're recording this, though. We're recording this in the past. But we're not here live. This is not live. This is not live. But we are here. It's Christmas, and Merry Christmas, everybody. We have a gift for you. It's answers to your questions. The same thing we've been getting you every day this month.
And if you're not celebrating Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you all the same. And here we are with the gift that keeps on giving, my voice.
It's true. It's true.
And we're going to answer all these questions from the people who continue to give to us over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Yep. Let's go ahead and get started unwrapping these questions, starting off this one from Allison S. Would Big go on a fishing charter trip, or is he happy fishing anywhere?
Both. He's really easygoing. If there's fishing involved, I think he's game.
No, game is different. Game and fish, I guess. Here's one from Andrew D. With the second Sonic movie showing us that the 7 Chaos Emeralds make up the Master Emerald in its continuity, how do you think a movie adaptation of Sonic Frontiers could happen with its vastly different lore? I feel like this is something that could potentially be really fun despite being vastly different in its lore. What would movie Sage look like?
I'd have to go back and watch the movie again, but I don't think it was that the emeralds made up the Master Emerald. It's that they were contained within it.
Yeah.
And then they were broken out because Knuckles puts it back together, and he has it at the end of movie 2, independent of the Chaos Emeralds. So I don't think it's that they made it up. I think they were just contained within it at some point, and how that happened might have been vague. Again, it's been a while. There's only so much Sonic lore I can be on top of, and I am not involved with the movies. So, as for a Frontiers version, it'd have to be completely different. Like, everything about it, none of it syncs up with the movie continuity in the slightest. Although seeing Jim Botnick dote on Sage would be kind of cute.
Yes.
Like, just have him sickeningly, saccharinely simping over this simulacrum and that being absolutely awful to everybody else.
Sounds about right.
Nope. Say hello to your Uncle Stone. Look what happens when you punch him in the nuts. Isn't that delightful?
Ouch.
As for Sage, movie Sage, I'd imagine they would get like an actual child actress and just like post-processor a whole bunch to give that kind of digital look.
Yeah. Yeah, they most likely would not make her a animated, 3D animated child. All right, here's a question from OzJam. With so many holiday stories, from a greedy old man learning the spirit of Christmas from 3 ghosts to a green, small-hearted hermit trying to steal Christmas from an entire town, many of these stories have been retold in other series through their own unique way. So I asked, what Christmas story that has been retold that you have enjoyed either better or at least equal with the original story? Along with that, what franchise would you like to do the same with, a Christmas story that you enjoyed?
I mean, I guess A Christmas Carol has the most adaptations that I have enjoyed. A Disney Christmas Carol, I think, is maybe my favorite rendition of it.
That's good.
The original story is fun in its own right. There's a lot of neat ideas in there, and the Jim Henson, the Muppets version has a lot of interesting aspects to it too. I'm trying to think if there's another incarnation that I've seen.
I mean, the Patrick Stewart version of it is very Patrick Stewart is just, Patrick Stewarting all over the Patrick Stewart place. So,
Yeah.
That's what makes it great. But still.
And the thing is, I don't think I've ever sat down and actually read the original Grinch Who Stole Christmas. My experience is primarily the Chuck Jones version, which to me is the quintessential version.
I think that pretty much is it's pretty much the book. It's very similar. So, but Scrooged is a classic with Bill Murray.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I do like that one. I'm a fan. And yeah, I mean, Die Hard. Let's do Sonic Die Hard. I was surprised that Spirited was pretty good. It's not bad. The recent one with Will Ferrell and Shoot. That other guy who's in everything. Ryan Reynolds. There we go. Yeah. Generic name. I can't remember it.
I'm a bit of at a loss, though, because I don't really seek out a lot of Christmas media. Or
No.
It's been a long time since I got into it.
Me neither. That's why I'm like, It just happens to be when I catch it or if someone else watches something around me. So, yeah. I just want Sonic to say, yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
Have Omega come down the elevator. Ho, ho, ho. Now I am a machine gun.
It's true. Here's one from Batman69 lol. What if Metal Sonic turned into a real boy? How do you think it would handle his newfound freedom? Additionally, do you reckon Eggman would react to his metallic progeny going off the rails and no longer following his program commands if he decides not to?
We recently touched on this idea and what kind of body horror it would be for Metal, the kind of existential crisis.
Yeah.
So, and we covered that like a few weeks ago. So let's focus on the Eggman aspect. I think he'd be disappointed. I think he would see it as a testament to how perfect his machine was, because look how faulty the biological version is. You know, he's not literally falling to pieces. It's more of an emotional thing, but the original Metal Sonic didn't do that. And now he's got to go build a metal.
Double metal. All the way across the sky?
Unless we start calling the fleshy version Meat All Sonic, and then he needs a metal meat all, and that's just weird.
No. No.
Meat All, that's kind of cumbersome. Meatball. You're now Meatball the Hedgehog, and I hate you.
Get out of my sight.
So now I've constructed your perfect bit of doom, metal meatball. That sounds even weirder. I don't know about this.
I don't like it. The flesh hog. No. Please. No. Let's move on from this nightmare fuel. This one's from DDR Master M. Through cartoon hijinks, Tangle has suddenly been split into a bunch of different versions of herself representing various aspects of her personality. How many? You choose. What are they, and how do others react to them?
Let's see. You'd have her unbridled desire for adventure just kind of bouncing off the walls with zero restraint.
Yeah.
And it might take folks a little bit of time to realize that's not default Tangle. Like, wait, Tangle actually does sit down occasionally. She does listen to people. What's wrong?
What a weirdo.
Her kind of insecurities, I guess, would manifest in her just kind of wrapping her tail around herself and moving around like Cousin It. You're trying to talk to her through the various coils of tail. Tangle, you in there? You okay? You want to come out and talk? No? Okay.
Never.
I'll leave a bowl of water out here for you.
A bowl of water. Yes.
The heroic side of her would be kind of hard to differentiate between the adventurous side, I guess, but would be a little more focused without the distraction of, ooh, what's fun about this? More, duty driven, which that would be weird. Where's the fun? You're kind of lawful good here. That's not fun Tangle. What happened to fun Tangle?
I don't like that. No, thank you.
I want to come up with more permutations, but she's a fairly succinct character.
Yeah, you did a good job. Not too complicated. She's just cool.
The ray gets turned into inverse and she gets merged back together, and it's like, well, what you see is what you get. Lemur loves adventure.
Oh no, she truly is just Sonic. Not really. She's a little more than that. Here's one from Dewdrop. I was replaying Sonic Frontiers and streamed the game for a friend of mine, excited to see their reaction to the little Coco following Amy. Said friend was utterly enamored by the little guys, and a bit of a mess after the tragic reveal. I'm still a wee bit guilty about that, so I was wondering if I could humbly ask to easily veto by Sega, canonize the name my friend gave to that particular walking gravestone, Strawbunkle. I don't really know where they got it from.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Strawbunkle. Straw.
Well, there you go. Good old Strawbunkle.
It's you and your friend. If you want to play through it, if you want to edit the code so that it pops up and says Strawbunkle instead of Coco, knock yourselves out.
No, it's just the one. Strawberry Arbuckle. Or Strawberry Carbuncle. The carbuncle ate itself.
Truth be told, though, calling him a strawbunkle doesn't seem wrong.
No. It's a fitting name.
It is, so.
It's like if I had a little rock rolling around making faces at me, I'd probably call it, be like, I don't know.
Yeah, the strawbunkle.
Strawbunkle?
Didn't know they had strawbunkles out here. I wonder if it's a native species or.
Weird.
Now I imagine like a nature documentary with David Attenborough. And here on the Starfall Islands, we find the indigenous strawbunkle. Though cute and unassuming on the outside, they actually contain quite the tragic backstory.
But they have strawberry filling. That's why they're called strawbunkles. Here's one from Excel Hedge. What if Sonic became Enerjacked during the Return of Enerjack arc, taking the Hex instead of Knucks? What changes to the status quo would he have done? A restoration of Knothole in the Great Forest? The dissolvement of Eggman, Turbo Tails, Hyper Knuckles, and Super Shadow uniting to stop him?
That is a tricky question, because Energy Knuckles was driven by all the baggage the character had at that point. You know, all the heartache, all the loss, all the lack of control for someone who was groomed to be a protector. Sonic, even with his Archie baggage, didn't have that. He was always a kind of hero who did what was right and then was done. You know, his aspirations were to protect his friends, stop evil, and then hang out. So it's kind of like the One Ring that can't corrupt the hobbits, because the hobbits just want to like smoke and chill. Like, oh no, Bilbo wants a bigger breakfast. The horror. So Sonic Jack.
Sure.
He might like one hit KO all of Eggman's forces and style on him, but then he doesn't really have any more aspirations to corrupt. He'd dismantle the Eggman Empire in like a flat minute, but then he would be content to let go of the power. So maybe he would be a little less playful about it. Maybe he would be a little vicious in his takedown of the villains, but I don't see it as the same problem as Energy Knuckles, who was all about, I'm going to fix things and make it right and preside over it. Sonic Jack would just be like, okay, job's done. And just like burps up the evil hex. Infinity is like, how? Why? No! That wasn't how it was supposed to happen. Get back on that Master Emerald, sir.
Would if we were talking about like current game canon Knuckles, what if he became Enerjack? Would he do anything? He's not the same character as
no, but
Archie Knuckles.
He does have that desire to, stop a problem and take the shortest route to it.
Yeah.
So I could still see him being a little fixated on preemptively protecting the island and in, a brutal fashion without thinking through the consequences, where everyone has to step in and say, Nux, buddy, you look badass, but this is a bit much. And he's like, nope, not listening to you guys. And then conflict.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's certainly something that he'd probably still react similarly, but maybe not quite as bad.
There would be a nuance difference, sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would kind of follow the same trajectory, because by that point, I was trying to move the characters more towards their game personas anyway.
Right.
So at that point, it was kind of like game-ish Knuckles with the baggage. That mindset, but informed by the comic material.
Yes, I mean, Knuckles has a lot of baggage, though. A lot of baggage in particular in Archie Sonic, so oh well. Here's a question from Hearts13. A what if scenario about an alternate universe animated short, hypothetically made by Sega, that adapts the Running Wild storyline from the 1990s Fleetway Sonic the Comic series. How well does it play out, especially when the Sonic Frontier song Break Through It All plays during Psycho Supersonic's attack on the Freedom Fighters caravan?
It's been a long time since I read Sonic the Comic, so I had to look up a summation on this one, and it seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Supersonic starts causing mayhem, and they manage to split him apart with, I think it's a Star Post. So, if anything, I'd say just make it a faithful animated adaptation.
Do it.
Like, it might have to be adjusted slightly for the action beats and for it to work better as an animated story than one that's done sequentially. But I mean, a large part, comics are basically storyboards. You can translate a lot of one to the other. So just do that.
I'm down. Let's do it. All right, here's one from Hero Squad. Curious question. How do you pronounce the bear from Sky Patrol? Is it Bear Anger or Bear Ranger? Which is the correct one? Oh, I can answer this one. It's a pun. It's Behringer.
Mm-hmm. It's a play on Derringer, which is a firearm, and he rides around on a big old bullet.
Aha. Yes. See, I was thinking the audio equipment manufacturer, Behringer, which isn't spelled that way, but no. Yeah, it's Behringer.
Yeah. He's a play on that, and Hawkewolf is a play on the Focke-Wulf Aeronautics Company, and then Caratia is, carrot.
Delicious. Yummy carrots. JCR1216 has a question. Now it's time for the conclusion of my Hedgehog Sons trilogy with Shadow. How would Amy, Blaze, Lanolin, Jewel, Tangle, Whisper, Rouge, and Surge react to being referred to as Mom? Okay,
we ran into a lot of confusion last time.
Yeah.
The scenario here is Shadow calling each of them Mother.
No.
Right?
No, the scenario is Shadow's son with each of them comes back in time. And calls them Mom, refers to them as Mom. Shadow's future son with them.
Okay, so Silver. I just said that to freak you people
out.
Calm down.
Don't do that, Ian. Don't. Ian, please. No. Please, Ian. No. Do not do this. No. I reject.
Hold a little bit.
Reject. I do not approve. Because I know what will happen. I know what happens when you do. You can't have any. You're not allowed to have any fun, Ian. Stop. No fun allowed. I will not allow it.
All right. So Shadow's future child comes back and says Mom to Amy, who is, again, just like, look, the sun was in my eyes. I couldn't tell who it was. All right. Just, people make mistakes. Blaze is kind of dumbfounded. Really?
The lights were off.
I come to think of it, have they actually met?
Shadow and Blaze met? I don't know.
There might be like one technical time, but
there has to have been, I don't know, Team Sonic Racing maybe?
Yeah, I guess.
Good IDW? I mean, have they ever met and talked in the comics? I mean, are the Olympics canon?
They are not.
Treasure Team Tango? Well, that's Archie. That doesn't count. We're talking current canon.
Lanolin's like, did he at least teach you proper firearm safety? Yeah? Okay, good.
Good.
Jewel's a little flustered, like, really? Me? Him? When? Why? Tangle would just laugh. Just laugh.
What?
Just kind of shrug and go, all right. I don't get it, but all right.
I wasn't there for it.
Whisper would remain judiciously silent, as she does.
Uh-huh.
Rouge is like, oh, I did commit. Huh, all right.
I guess it's, yeah.
And I guess Surge is like, okay, did your dad teach you where to properly kick Sonic? No? All right, we're having a mother-son day out. Let's go.
Here, I'll show you how to do it on Kit.
No.
I'll show you.
Probably, but no.
I mean, you see, I'm not wrong. I don't want to be right, but I am. Good old Uncle Drippy. All right. On that note, here's one from John. I'm surprised that Bunny never showed up in Mobius 25 or 30 years later, but her kids did. Was she cut? Was there ever a design plan for her? I know you didn't write 25 years later, but I wasn't sure if there was any rough draft of her from that time that you would know of, or any consideration of putting her into 30 years later.
I wasn't privy to any previous scripts or plans or documentation. Anything I know that was pre-planned was, published online publicly way after the fact.
Yeah.
As for 30 years later, the issue is that it wasn't that she was cut. It's just there wasn't room. The focus on a future story is to tell the future. We know the other characters. Let's see something new and different and go in a new direction. I think we generally had the idea that she and Antoine lived happily ever after, that they had kind of retired and they were living the good life, and it's their kids that pick up the adventuring bug and go off and do cool things, that they're well-adjusted, seasoned heroes because their parents are awesome.
It's true, though. It's very true. And our last question before we take a break is from Melia. It's a beautiful day, and Sonic is going for a casual stroll in the beautiful countryside. However, tragedy strikes. He bumps into a local farmer on the road at Mach speed. How does our favorite hero process and or get away with his accidental crime of permanently moving an NPC off screen? Be as silly or serious as you want. It's all in good fun. Oh, no.
He calls up Tails, buddy, you got to help me out. I just bumped an NPC out of like the loading zone. I think that counts as killing someone. What do I do? Tails is like, it's fine. It's fine. Just open up your map. Quick warp to this new location. Then quick jump back. He'll reload. It'll be fine. Thanks, Tails.
Yes. Good Tails. Always.
Tails, I warped back. He's still not there. I think I like permanently deleted him or something. Tails, no. It's probably just error in the code. It's fine. Just wait for them to reset the game and then I'll be back. Wait, this is a game?
Oh, no.
Sega. Oh, good. The farmer's back. Cool. Wait, didn't I have 50 rings? Dang it.
Oh, we got reset. Oh, man. Well, we lost 50 rings, but we have not lost our break. So we're going to take a quick one right here. Come back with more on the BumbleKast.
Before we get back into it, it's time for our special giveaway question. If you are following us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Tumblr, Kyle, where else? Facebook,
Instagram, yeah.
Instagram, there we go. We cycle through and hold a raffle so that you can get your own priority question free of charge. This time, our priority question giveaway comes from
Tumblr.
And that person on Tumblr is
Eeps.
And Eeps has a question that is,
at the beginning of Frontiers, I'm assuming Sage didn't have a concrete appearance or pronouns before gaming the humanoid little girl form because of cyberspace shenanigans. Would you say that Sage willingly took on a more feminine appearance and demeanor, or at least chose to retain one? Eggman himself wasn't sure of her pronouns before asking her, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, Sage crafted her identity. I don't know how much of it was kind of conscious and what was just kind of reflective or reflexive, but she kind of came into being and settled with that and identified as that.
She's so smart. It's almost like she was a computer or something. Here's a question from Morless. IDW issue 67, spoilers ahead. IDW 67 involves Surge and Kit infiltrating the Restoration on behalf of Clutch. There's a lot that could be said about this situation, but what interests me most is the potential storytelling between Surge and Amy. Shipping and jokes about how Surge stole Sonic's girlfriend aside, I think that Amy actually has just as much potential as a rival for Surge as Sonic does, perhaps even more. Between Surge as being a bad person who does bad things and her self-destructiveness, I think there's potential in her to be a character who could have a satisfying redemption arc, and I think Amy's kindness and empathy, as well as her determination, she would be an excellent foil for Surge in that respect. What are your personal thoughts on this, Ian?
In general, yeah, I agree. I personally don't want to see Surge get a redemption arc anytime soon. I like that we have a female villain in the mix. I mean, yeah, there's Wave, but she's not really a villain. She's more of a jerk.
I mean, so Surge, but...
Yeah, but Surge has got more kick to her. You know, she's like a threat. Wave is an inconvenience. So...
I mean, you could change that. You're writing this. You can bring Sage in. Like, what are you doing?
Well, that's a bigger issue with more moving parts. But point is, I like Surge as a villain.
Yes.
I feel like if she gets a redemption arc, then she's yet another reformed villain. She's another Shadow. She's another Knuckles. It kind of removes some of the intensity to the character.
Yeah.
But I'm not writing the main book now. That's all Evan Stanley. So we'll see where she takes her and the whole thing for the foreseeable future.
Don't fix Surge. Make Wave worse.
No, I don't think that's not saying Wave needs to become like a major villain.
No.
She works really well in her dynamic with the Babylon Rogues. I'm just saying she is not a big mover and shaker. She doesn't show up in the story and you go, oh crap, it's Wave. We're doomed. It's she's going to cause trouble. Surge shows up and you're like, oh, what's going to get broken? Who's going to get broken?
No.
And on a scale of bad to worse, how much worse is it going to get?
Oh, crap. Here we go again. All right. Here's one from Mixer17. What sort of petty vengeance? This is totally a real thing. Don't worry about bothering Jewel or Lanolin about it. Embarrassing hazing initiation. Could you see Whisper and Tangle convincing Surge and Kit, but since he's the objectively good one, his will be he just basically gets a dessert party just for him because I say so. She has to go through before she has to join the resistance for whatever the reason we're eventually finding out she and Kit are doing this for. This is a strangely worded question to read out loud. So if you can't follow that, go read it. It makes a little more sense that way.
Sentences are broken up by periods.
What?
Periods are your friends.
Yeah, it's a very long question. The
point is, what kind of hazing would Tangle and Whisper do to Surge as an initiate to the Diamond Cutters?
Yes.
On Tangle's behalf, I don't think she's going to do anything like nasty. Like at worst, it's going to be some very simple pranks. Pie to the face, show up at the wrong place, and just wait around type of thing.
Sticking her hand in warm water while she's sleeping, which makes her shock herself because she's electric. But Surge isn't thinking about that.
Harmless stuff, goofy things, and more of a haha, okay, we're done, you're in. And Surge would find it extremely frustrating, but she has to play nice. So, yeah, good one, Tangle. Hey, you want to see what happens when I tie your tail in a knot at super speed?
Oof. Big oof. Big rude.
Whisper's not really into it. Like, maybe the Diamond Cutters of old had some fun, shenanigans, but that was then. And she does not trust Surge in the slightest. There is no fun hazing. It's, if you let me get in close, I'm going to make sure you're not a threat. So I'm just going to abstain.
Does anybody trust Surge at this rate? No, I didn't think so. You're like, yeah, Whisper doesn't trust Surge at all. I'm like, yeah, nobody does. Well, I'd hope they're not that. Not that.
Like, most of the cast are trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, we've seen this happen before. Like,
yeah.
Knuckles came around, Shadow came around.
Yeah.
Omega kind of came around, General came around. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt, give them a chance to do better, because some people just need that opportunity to fix themselves. Give them enough rope. Sonic is basically giving her enough rope at this point.
And she will hang herself. It's only a matter of time.
Whisper's like, no, don't even give the rope. Pull the trigger now. No, fine. But I'm going to keep my sights on her, because when she does trip over that rope, which she will, I'm not going to wait to say I told you so. I'm just going to finish things.
Yes. Give Whisper a little murder as a treat.
'Tis the season.
Next question is from Noni. If Surge were to be told about the events of Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, how surprised would she be that Espio, of all people, got the closest to actually killing Sonic?
Absolutely mortified. You telling me this lizard with the puffy sleeves nearly did what she couldn't? with the freaking blow dart. She's got 88 gigawatts going through her body, and he did it with the blow dart. She's got to rethink her life. This ain't right. It's fundamentally wrong with the universe.
He's a ninja, though.
That don't matter. Congratulations. You're silent but deadly. So is a bowl of beans.
I don't know.
She was perfectly crafted to destroy that jerk, and she couldn't do it. He did it while Sonic wasn't even looking. On a train. Disgusting.
Well, I mean, the question is, are they mean beans? That's really the important thing. Oh, man. Poor SPO. He can't catch a break. Ow. Here's one from Nate Ray. If you were requested to give Infinite a redemption arc through the comics, how would you write it?
I kind of hesitate too, because I like him as a villain. He is a incredibly flawed individual, which I think is, once you get to that part of him, that makes him interesting as a villain.
Another redeemed villain in Sonic the Hedgehog.
If we were to redeem Infinite, I would want it to end with him making the final sacrifice and actually get killed off like they were kind of doing with Shadow more or less in SA2.
Yeah.
Like actually resolve this, because then if you have a redeemed Infinite, you have Shadow 2.0 is what you got.
Effectively, yeah.
So if you're going to do a redemption arc, I think the easiest avenue is to look at where his fixation on being weak comes from. Why is he so preoccupied with being weak? Why does he have this nihilistic worldview? Why does he simply not care about anyone else and delight in other suffering? What damaged him to the point that became his modus operandi? And, address that, resolve that. He sees the error in his ways and then does something or other to heroically sacrifice himself and just be done with it.
Yeah, he watched too many weird YouTube videos as a kid, I think. And the algorithm got him. That must be what happened. That's why he's so fixated on not being weak. Oof. Big oof. Rockamillion is here with a question. Ian, I think we can all agree it's time for Sega to make a 2D animated Sonic TV show or movie. After all the incredible 2D animated shorts we've gotten over the last several years, with Sonic Mania Adventures, Sonic Origins, Divergence, Trio of Trouble, Sonic Dream Team, etc. It's insane to me that a 2D Sonic series or film still hasn't been announced. Please let Sega know that this is what we want, because I don't think I'm alone in this. A full-length 2D Sonic show or movie developed by Ian Flynn, Evan Stanley, and Tyson Hess would be my dream come true.
I would like that. There are way more people involved and way more moving pieces than I even thought would be involved in such a project.
For 2D animation especially, yeah.
Yeah, just to get that off the ground. It's I can't talk about it in depth. Just suffice to say, now that I'm more on the inside and I can kind of see how the sausage gets made, it's a miracle that there's any sausage at all. So the best thing that you guys can do, you listening at home or wherever you are, is engage with the social media and say that. Say how much you love the 2D animations that we did and how you want to see more of it. Because the more actual metrics they have, they can give that feedback to the people who are making the sausage and say, look, this is the sausage they want made. Do this, because we have numbers showing that there is a demand for it. I can say my bit from my angle, sure, but I don't really have a lot of influence on that necessarily.
Yeah. I'd say just do like a 2D animated Sonic show with no gimmick. Or at least the gimmick is that there is no gimmick. It's like, it's just a Sonic show. It's like, it's either maybe not necessarily always canon to the games or whatever, but it's like, a direct adaptation, ties into things, kind of like IDW does. I think that would be awesome. And Styx is also there. Here's one from Scurvy Pirate Hog. Knuckles and Shadow take a trip to the Casino Night Zone. As they wake up the next day, they have no memories of what they did, but soon discover they're now both members of the Sonic Fan Club, with Knuckles being president and Shadow being the lesser vice president. And they both have tattoos of Sonic on their arms, as well as matching Sonic t-shirts. How do they react?
Well, first, those t-shirts are getting torn to shreds.
Oh no, the Shadow and Knuckles hangover.
And then Knuckles is like, well, I'll handle this the same way I handled being leader of the resistance. Bye.
Oh no!
So that makes Shadow president by default. He's going to have to sit in his room for a while and think on that one.
Yeah. Oh.
And then he just decides to dissolve the presidency. He's president. Who's going to stop him? You can't tell him what to do. He's the ultimate life form, and he's president. Except he's not anymore. Presidential control. As for those tattoos, I imagine enough Chaos Spears directly applied to the point would, get rid of it. If Knuckles has already made it back to Angel Island, maybe just kind of calls up Chaos and is like, dude, just dilute this. It may take a while, but just like, I don't know, wash my arm off. I can punch with one hand. It's fine. Go for it.
Shadow's first act as president is rechristening it into a Sonic hate club.
This is what you wanted, isn't it, Maria? A chance for everyone to hate Sonic.
That's what everyone needs. Here's one from Sonic Mania 2099. Looking back at Eggman's dozen, I gotta ask, what was the inspiration behind Axel's Code of Honor? Stinks we may never get to see him again, unless Sega gets their act together with character suggestions from fans. No, seriously, I can create a paragraph of golden missed opportunities that Sega rejects like kids doing vegetables. Yeah, we know. Yeah, it's true.
It's been a while, but I think it was just to give him something interesting that the others don't have. Like a lot of the egg bosses were self-serving in some degree or another, and then it was like kind of a litmus of what is it about them that drives that selfishness. And Axel's was, he's loyal to his crew, and he can improve their standards by siding with the big bad. His crew worked because they were loyal to each other in a very simple but efficient sort of way. So that's his worldview. Just extrapolate it to Eggman Empire.
Yeah. Alrighty, here's a question from Spoiler 1001. How different would Silver be if Shadow and Omega raised him in the future? Shadow and Omega? My two dads, one's a robot and a murder.
I imagine he would be more overtly edgy. Like we're talking how he was back in 06 without the innocence necessarily. But I think that purity of heart would still remain. So he would talk a big talk. He's going to burn things down and take out the weak just like his dads do. But deep down, he isn't comfortable with it. There is this inner core of, I want to be a hero and I want to look after others, not necessarily just destroy enemies.
Yeah. It would be terrifying, though, for him to have the powers that he does being more like Shadow or Omega.
But then you get to the fun crossroads where, bitter and disillusioned to future Shadow and I never gave any cares Omega wanting to do something borderline villainous, and Silver finally standing up for himself and saying no, and then they fight, and then it'd be cool.
Yeah.
You want your 2D animation? Yeah, I got your 2D animation right here.
Sweet. And now we got a question from Steph Cube. Is it possible that Tangle has some self-esteem issues? I get that impression because it seems like she tries really hard to prove that she's competent and acts like that kid who really wants to hang out with the cool kids like Sonic or Whisper.
A little bit. Part of that stemming from when growing up in Spiral Hill. I wouldn't want to call her a menace, but she did cause trouble. What with her, bouncing off walls and swinging off lampposts and not always looking where she's going.
Mm-hmm.
So there would be a degree of consternation amongst her neighbors. Oh, it's Tangle. There she goes again, causing mischief.
Dang it, Parker, get me pictures of Lemur Woman. She's a menace.
I don't think it's any, deep-seated misgivings. It's just she knows that sometimes she's a bit of a goof, and sometimes that causes problems, and she is earnestly sorry about that, but she is confident in who she is and what she can do. And, there's just the occasional bit of embarrassment, like, oops, did it again. My bad. But otherwise, it's just excitement. It's Sonic, the hero of the planet. He's done all this cool stuff. You have, Whisper. She's got a cool cape and a cool mask and a cool gun full of cool aliens. That's just cool. Like she loves life. She celebrates it all. Amy, she's got a cool big hammer. Tails, he can freaking fly with his butt. That's great. Like she's, when she's kind of the outsider perspective to all these fantastically talented and amazing people, and she gets to hang out with them. How cool is that?
And she's also amazingly cool and talented, but she just kind of doesn't think about that.
No, because that's who she is. She's,
yeah.
She doesn't see herself on their level. She just sees herself as herself.
But
she gets to do cool things with these cool people. How cool is that?
Yeah. Yeah. I love Tangle. I'm glad you didn't put her through trauma. A little, but not like Whisper. Here's one from the Aldi Roger. Hey, Ian and Kyle, what were your day jobs before you were doing what you're doing now? Is there anything you took away from any previous workplaces that influence how you conduct your careers today?
I kind of started doing freelance writing. That was my first job.
Right.
I've had some part-time jobs over the years. Worked technical things in theater, setting up lights and bandstands and running tech. Worked in tech support at my old high school. Was a fry cook for a little while. And if anything, what those jobs kind of taught me was that the politics and the nonsense of high school doesn't go away. Everyone is like that. Every job, there was also a business where it was proctoring licensing tests, where I just had to make sure people were, following the rules and not cheating. And that was an unpleasant time, not because of the work, but because of the workplace. And it's just, what I took away from those is learning how to be judicious in my replies and observant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done a lot of part-time stuff, retail stuff, and yeah, the whole interpersonal drama of high school never goes away, really. Maybe some places are better than others about it, but it's definitely it's a constant, unfortunately. It's just humanity. That's just how we are.
I also did work retail. I forgot about that. I worked briefly at a GameStop.
Yeah.
And did Black Friday midnight opening. And our store manager brought us breakfast and hot chocolate to get us through the night. And he had everything already figured out. He had order sheets pre-prepared. He had a game plan for how we would manage people who go through the store. He was one of the best bosses I've ever had. So Brian, if you happen to be listening to this, shout out to you, buddy. You were one of the best bosses I ever had. I sorely miss you.
Yeah. I guess for the majority of my work life has been spent in machine shops. Not my favorite thing, but it's my family-owned business. So, but luckily I'm no longer in that. I'm out. I got out. I escaped, and I can't go back. So, and I don't want to go back. So, the work is kind of neat for a little bit, but it's very, after a while, it's just it is draining at best, physically, mentally. Yeah, I much prefer what we're doing here now. This is nice. True Cosmic Digi has a question. Ian, if Sega makes a Sonic RPG like the Tales series and Genshin, what kind of weapon do you like to make the gang along with the Smith system?
I feel like it's not. I mean, I guess you could conflate the two, even at its simplest. I feel like Tales games are a little more technical, but I wouldn't want to necessarily give them weaponry.
No, you don't need that.
Yeah, Amy, she comes prepackaged with a hammer, but I would make it more about the move sets, like fall back on the old speed, power, fly, skill, maybe, however you want to distinguish it. and focus on the individual abilities
Mm-hmm.
and make equipment kind of a background element, not so much a present element.
Go with like Mario RPG, where you don't need necessarily weapons outright.
Yeah.
They just had like movesets and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More like that, because Sonic isn't really about weaponry for the most part.
Mm-hmm. With the exception of a few characters, but Sonic's
Yeah,
Sonic's weapons are his fists and his spines, I suppose. But
I mean, especially like if we're going to draw the Genshin Impact parallel, like they're starting to get a little fuzzy on what the weapon types are. I mean, technically, Heiza is a catalyst, but he punches people.
Good.
Catalysts are all supposed to be like magic users, and it's like, I cast fist.
So he's a monk.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, works for me. Monks are so fun. All right, here's a question from Twilord. Tails discovers that ever since Rouge recovered him, Shadow has been sleepwalking. SA2 Shadow could wake up at any time. How does everyone, Shadow and Harold included, take the news?
Confusion? Hopeless anger? Because that's a very lucid, sleepy Shadow.
Yeah, apparently.
Or maybe that's why he's always just standing around with his arms crossed and his eyes closed. He's not being stoic. He's just kind of coasting on that circadian rhythm. I mean, at that point, Sleepy Shadow's been around so long, he is his own persona. Now we're getting into a whole question of existential existence. If he wakes up, will he come back? Should Shadow fall back asleep? Do they want that?
Maybe he micro sleeps like Batman.
I don't know. Let's ask Carol directly. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah.
Well said.
He knows what he's saying. I don't know what he was saying, but he knows what he's saying. What was that? It was Harold.
Sorry, they missed that, buddy. Can you say that again? Thank you.
People are freaking out. What is happening? People are like, who's Harold? That's Harold. He's cool. He's fine. Don't worry about him.
He's Shadow's adopted Black Arms child.
Yes.
Clearly, obviously.
Obviously, yes. Yes. Twilord is really, really trying to keep Harold alive. All right, we got one last question. It's from 01. In 1992, the Sega Falcon team planned to make a remake of the game Popful Mail for the console Mega CD called Sister Sonic that replaced the cast of the original game with Sonic characters. This game was canceled and nothing is known about how much of the development was accomplished. Could you please tell me any information about that project? I'm interested in who was part of that project and if at any time there was a functional prototype.
There was a new article on this not too long ago, and I couldn't find it, which bugs the crap out of me because it corrected a lot of the misunderstandings that we had for years.
Yeah.
But I think the main takeaway was there is nothing. Like, it was just a concept, and the backlash over losing the original Popful Mail kicked in before they even got anywhere.
Yeah.
And they just went on and just remade Popful Mail. Like, if there is any concept art, it has probably been lost to time. But I don't think they even got as far as coding. Like, I think it was purely conceptual. And then the feedback was, no, do Popful Mail faithfully. And they're like, okay, we'll do that. And they did it.
Yeah. Apparently, Did You Know Gaming covered it.
There we go.
So it was a video.
That's why I couldn't find the article.
So Lost Sonic games. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to watch the video and then come back to this, but, it basically, from my understanding, there is no lost media to be found. There's nothing to reference. It's like, it was just an idea.
Yeah. There is also apparently an article talking about it with some info on it on Sonic Stadium. So
okay,
they're talking about that Did You Know Gaming video specifically. But all right, and that's it. That's all we got for this Christmas edition of the BumbleKast.
Thank you so much for listening, especially on this happy holiday. Thank you to everyone who supports the show by being patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and being our YouTube members. Subscribers? I am blanking on the term right now.
Subscribers don't pay us, Ian.
I haven't even hit the eggnog yet. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. We will see you Saturday for the last live stream of the year and the next time on the BumbleKast.
Yes, indeed. Also, subscribers do pay us, just indirectly. But members, they're the YouTube folks who pay us. Thank you to our members. Thank you to our subscribers, too. If you subscribe, that's cool. You are awesome. It's even better if you watch and comment on the videos.
Well, I've been walking about 3K whenever I go to the store or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This time I kind of went over 10. So I got home and I was like, I'm going to take a nap because I was tired.
Yeah.
But otherwise held up pretty well. So
okay.
That's good.
I was waiting for the punchline. I thought something was going to I thought something happened.
Yeah, the punchline is, I'm just going to go out for a walk and see how I feel. And I go 3 times the normal distance.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I have no frame of reference of what that is.
Okay. All right. I'm sitting here like, so what happened?
Well, like first I went up like the main road that our apartment building's on because it was -2 today.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured walking down by the water might be a wee bit nippy. So
-2 in general.
Now, to be fair, it did say it felt more like -8. So
all right.
I figured I'd walk towards the neighborhoods, where there's less open water.
Is this Celsius or Fahrenheit? I'm assuming Celsius because you do everything by Celsius now. Because anyway,
nah, just leave it. I'll get it later.
For frame of reference, it is currently 24 degrees Celsius right now where I am, which is 76.
That's comfy. That's fine.
Fahrenheit. Yeah. That's exceptionally warm for this time of year.
-14 is where they sync up.
-40 is where they sync up.
Celsius. I thought it was 14.
No, it's 40. It's 40.
Well, at that point, who cares?
I know, at that point, -40, it's freaking, it doesn't matter. Have you ever been in -40? Does it get to -40 there?
Yeah. One New Year's we were out, and with wind chill, it was like -20 something.
Yeah, I was going to say -40 is exceptionally cold.
-20 ain't nothing to sneeze at.
No, I know, but -40 is very exceptional. Anyway, I am like completely derailing you. I'm sorry. I'm terrible.
No, it's fine. It's, I walked up the road for a bit until I got to the neighborhoods and it stopped being a grid and started being more of a nest. So it was like, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to double back this way. I know there's a major roadway a little further north-ish. That's a good point to walk towards because then I know that's a good place to stop, turn around, and come back. So I did that. Well, as I'm getting there, I'm like, I'm starting to feel tired. That's a good time to listen to the body and turn around.
Yeah.
And I saw the edge of the cemetery that's right on that major road. I'm like, oh, well, that means I'm already there. Basically, I might as well see it through to the end. I didn't realize how big that cemetery was.
Oh, boy.
I walked probably about a full city block, finally got to that road. It's like, okay, I did it. Now I can go home. Come home, and then it's like, okay, go into Google Maps. Where did I go? How far did I go? Oh,
okay. No wonder you're so sleepy. Did you figure out what your phone was blowing up for?
Oh, no, it was actually the laundry, and I couldn't hear it properly with the headphones in.
Oh, so it sounded like your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, why is the phone like it wasn't? Because the new washer and dryer, the old ones, they'd beep a few times to let you know they're done, and then they'd shut up.
And then they shut up, and this one just keeps going?
This one will not stop.
Oy.
And it's just musical enough that it's not grating, but it's just obnoxious enough that it gets your attention.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that means they did it right, I guess, technically. If they're gonna make it go beep, 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 if they're gonna make it make noise. It's kind of like our microwave. The microwave won't shut up either. It's like, yes, I know, shut up.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network.
Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. We'll keep the people entertained with, like, things. Entertainment. Is this entertaining?
I mean, they haven't left yet, so I guess so.
I don't know why they're still here.
Has everybody seen the new Tails tube today?
No. What's in it? What's in it?
Everything.
Tails? Is Tails in it?
Tails is in it.
Good.
Sonic is in it. Knuckles is in it. Amy is in it. Rouge is in it. Omega's in it. Shadow's in it.
Why?
Eggman is in it.
That's a lot.
It was a big one. You know what? We got time. Everybody go here. I'm going to find I will get the YouTube link.
Is Joe in it? Who? Joe Mama? Joe Butt?
I'll get a link and we can all watch it together.
Here. Can I do that? Can I make it do that in here? Can I like do a share? I can do a screen share, I guess.
Yeah. Can you do a?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me pull it up here. Let me pull it up here. Let me put all my salacious content away so you can't see it. Screen. There we go. It's here. Oh, you shared the link, didn't you?
No, I didn't send it. Like,
oh, Dove did. I knew somebody did. I knew somebody did something.
I didn't send the link because you were going to do the broadcast.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I know. I just need the link to open it up to find it.
Oh,
I got it. I got it, Ian. Don't worry about me. I got it. These nice people helped me out. So let's see. Oh, it's 6 minutes.
Yep. Destroying robots brings me joy. It should bring you joy.
It does. It truly does.
I thought that came together very well.
How much of that did you write?
80-90%.
Okay. I was going to say, it felt like you. You made a Jewel reference, so.
Yeah.
Can you get, like, Jewel on the show? Can you get, like, Tangle on the show? Can you get, like, Whisper on the show?
Getting Rouge and Shadow and Eggman made all in time was a bit of a trick.
Yeah. Can you get me on the show? I'm not asking that. That's from the chat.
And if any more rigs are going to get built, it should probably go towards more mainstay characters. But I don't know, man. We'll see.
Can you get yourself on the show?
We actually talked about that in the group.
Really? Okay, I kind of wondered
if we could do like interviews with Sonic staffers.
Yeah.
And not like do rigs, just have like video calls. But we decided that would kind of mean that makes us in the real world canon to Sonic's world.
Okay.
And that muddies things a little too much.
Isn't Tails Tube already dubiously canon, like in and of itself?
It's more canon than the Twitter takeovers, sure, but there's a little fuzziness to it.
Yeah, I know.
It's meant to be more based stricter on canon.
Okay. You didn't want to make yourself canon to Sonic. That would be absolutely hysterical. Ian Flynn canon to Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh man. You should have done it.
Look, if we're going to have a hairy-faced round guy in Sonic, we already have Eggman, and he's better at it than I am, so.
Yeah, but it's funnier if you're there. I love Eggman, but it's funnier if you're there.
Plus, you can have Mike Pollock reading "You merry menagerie of mammalian and mechanical miscreants." Just, oh my god.
True professional, that guy. I don't know how he does it.
Make him say this, and it's going to be great, and it was.
Yes. He was ready. He was there. It was his time. It was Eggman's time to shine, and everybody left.
And the thing is, too, like when we were scripting it, I was thinking a very simple asset, just like him scoot by across the ceiling and then walk into frame.
Yeah.
No, Tyson went all out and had like an explosion and had him coming through the ceiling and snow falling down. Tyson went like above and beyond.
That's because it's Tyson, dude.
Yeah.
That's just normal.
And he did most of the script doctoring and hashing out what the finale would be, because we ran into a lot of issues with Shadow's inclusion.
Gee, you think? You ran into problems with Shadow's inclusion. Yes, also. Bear shit in the woods.